I think one of our many challenges, even as senior marketers, is marketing. So the internal piece of proving our worth, proving exactly how we're adding profitable value to the bottom line. Whom do we see as the best internal sponsors of marketing?
So for me, I'd say there's probably three key groups that I would associate with. One is the CIO. And the reason being is that the CIO can actually bring the CMO's vision to fruition, especially when you look at the technology stack that we have available to us. But also the CIO could be an advocate for when you need to get the budget from the CFO. So if you have that relationship in place, for me, I think that's a key sponsor. Second one is, and this might be an unusual one, but the CTO, especially when you work in a technology company whereby we're all saying the same thing. If you took all our logos, away, we pretty much sound like everyone else in our field or in our space. So when we do relate or connect with the CTO and bring them in early on in terms of content and messaging, you end up with a hybrid piece of relevance. And that actually for me is really critical. And then the third one is the wider community within the company. So before we ever launch a campaign, we actually present it to the whole of the organisation to get feedback from sales and also the engineers. And it's that insight and feedback that we get, although we don't really want it, but it actually drives a better campaign because, I could look at something and see something completely different, but someone with a different set of eyes will see something that is so obvious that we should have taken it on board. So for me, I think those three are critical audiences internally.
So Mark, I know at Rackspace you also have a view that the CIO and CTO are really important brand ambassadors for you. Who else do you see as an important internal sponsor?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with how that conversation started. Almost there's table stakes, I think, with sales relationships, finance relationships with budgets and things. Increasingly, it's the relationship with the people that front the technology. So I love the conversation you had about the CTO and CIO. Just getting these people, Rackspace is full of technologists, thousands of them. So really, if I can get those guys in front of customers and prospects, becomes increasingly valuable. So they're really the future of how I think I address the market and arguably the best internal sponsors I've got.
Catherine, what about at Facebook Workplace?
I think we always say, in marketing that our customers will tell the story better than we could ever tell it ourselves. And I think the same is true for your internal customers and stakeholders. So first and foremost, the people who are owning the commercial targets for the business or the company or the part of the business that you support. So that's something that, I try and make sure I'm extremely aligned with the people who within Facebook are leading the workplace business and also product. We've talked about finance and IT. Obviously, if you've proven your value, if you've got finance and IT on side, you've obviously done a good job of proving the worth of marketing. And I would add also that in a product-led or product-driven organization, which obviously Facebook is, the leaders and the owners, the people who are building the product, being close partners with them, showing that you share their vision for where the product can go and where it can build to, and that you can find new ways and new customers for that product and lead that kind of vision is also really key. So product and business owners, I think, would be the two key ones for me.
Thank you. Scott, you've certainly said in the past that the past sort of 2 to 3 years, you've seen sales leaders and particularly smart salespeople as being really, really key bedfellows. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think we talk about connecting sales and marketing, and Mark says it's table stakes, and it isn't on the spec, but that doesn't mean it's easy to do. So we've had to work really hard on embedding ourselves into the sales team and having the conversations that they want to have. I think one of the sales guys said to me once, finally feels like marketing's not being pushed on me now, it's being useful for me. And I think that's a really good statement of, we've gone in, we've understood their business. I always talk to my guys about, and the rest of the team around, do you understand how a salesperson works, how they're paid, what their focus is, what their pressures are as well? Because if you don't, you're never going to be on the same page as them. So we've worked really hard in connecting the sales bit. Also with finance as well, I spent a lot of time with the finance team on working with them, because finance people aren't just about counting the budget and the numbers. They do have some really good insights about how to spend the money in the right places. So I've talked a lot about what does it mean to use money to do reputation building stuff, what does it mean to do demand generation stuff, what does it mean to enable the sales team. So working with them so that they understand when we're trying to spend money here, here or here, what that means, how we're going to measure it, because ROI is different depending on them. And then the last bit is we've done a lot of work on stakeholders from across the business. So for example, we're doing a lot of work around AI at the moment. Microsoft has a really strong AI solution and proposition. We have a lot of people that are coming net new into the company, and we've got a lot of people that understand AI across the company. So we're going and finding those people and bringing them in to be part of the team that then takes the AI story to market, obviously working with our core team as well. So sometimes it's about picking individuals, no matter what their role is or how many years they've been in the business, to help you with some of the marketing that you're doing.
I like that, the concept of gathering different expertise, certainly as internal brand ambassadors, to tell our stories on our behalf. Louise, how do we make sure that people internally don't feel that marketing is just something being done to them? How can they help sell our story?
Well, interesting. I mean, I think I have a very similar experience to Scott, but we've actually just restructured our business over the last year in order to align marketing, sales, product marketing and the solutions team to the same goals and the campaigns. So we all have the same targets and we all run the same campaigns and take different parts of it. So it's a continuous journey. And what we're finding with that is when we have the customer touch points, we are all saying the same thing. So it's not marketing pulling people in and sales saying, well, I don't really know about that, let's talk about this. It's much more of a fluid thing. So the people inside the company are now saying, well, we want to be part of that. That sounds quite exciting. Which part can we take?